Thank you. I just wanted to congratulate Casey. It's not easy to be an outlier, and although you said it was a simple intervention, it's sometimes the simple things that make such a big difference, and well done. Before I start, I just wanted to briefly mention about the Nurses Board of Victoria Legacy Limited. Some of you may know about it, some of you may not. When the Nurses Board of Victoria merged to become part of a national body, they left funds, there were funds allocated in Victoria for Victorian nurses and midwives. Those funds are still available, and each year they allocate over $250,000 in grants and fellowships for Victorian nurses and midwives to apply for. They will open on the 1st of July and they close in September. The grants range from $3,000 to $50,000, so they are well worth looking at. It's not just maternity, it's across every discipline. If you would like to know more about it, please come and ask me. Now, the presentation today is Fetal Growth Restriction Workshop. As you can see, there's a bit of work that needs to be done in Victoria around fetal growth restriction, and we have the Stillbirth Centre for Research Excellence, or the Stillbirth CRE, and Perinatal Society of Australia and New Zealand, or PSANS, as most of you will know it, have actually developed an educational program which is designed to improve detection and management of fetal growth restriction. Safer Care Victoria, in conjunction with Stillbirth CRE and PSANS, are wanting to roll that workshop out in Victoria. Now, it hasn't been trialled anywhere yet. We are the trial phase, so bear with us while we work through that. But the aim of the workshop is to reduce the number of term pregnancies where fetal growth restriction is missed. It's to identify early pregnancy risk factors for fetal growth restriction. We want to improve management of pregnancies complicated by fetal growth restriction, reduce perinatal morbidity and mortality associated with FGR, identify and manage the psychosocial impact of pregnancies complicated by fetal growth restriction, and identify and manage the neonatal conditions associated with FGR. How are we going to do this? How are we going to turn the evidence that the CRE and PSANS have put together into practice? What we're looking at is a face-to-face workshop, a train-the-trainer workshop, and an e-learning module. The face-to-face workshop is a mixed interactive didactic approach. We're aiming to have 21 face-to-face workshops over the next 12 months. I know that sounds a lot, but we have got some plans in place. There'll be no cost to clinicians to attend. These will be free, and they're very similar to the Improve workshops that we ran several years ago, for those of you that may remember. What we did learn from those workshops is that it was difficult having 6 clinicians run those workshops at once, and we relied heavily on them to be in the one place at the one time, and that was actually quite difficult to coordinate, particularly in regional areas. Not sure if you can see this. This is basically what the workshops will look like. So we've modified it, or we've worked, or the CRE and PSANS have modified the design. So rather than to have 6 educators, they're looking at having 2 educators, hopefully a midwife and an obstetrician or a GP obstetrician, to deliver over a 3.5-hour program. And we're looking at defining what fetal growth restriction is, risk assessment. We are looking at the fundal height assessment, but there's some skills around that, so we can reduce the variability. Diagnosis and management, neonatal care, and a clinical audit, because we need to know what we're doing is actually making a difference. So pre and post with the training and helping you audit back in your services. Each of the areas in the workshop supported by clear learning objectives, and there'll be clinical scenarios and teaching advice. So the aim of these is that you'll be able to deliver these locally. You won't be reliant on us to be coming out to help you. We'll be training you to run them locally, but we will oversee that centrally, and they'll be reporting back to the CRE in Queensland as well. The train-the-trainer module is an 1.5 hour training because we want to ensure sustainability. What we did learn, as I said previously, with the Improve workshops is once the funding ran out, the program stopped, and that's not what we want to happen with this. We know it's an important piece of work. Oh, I don't know what happened to my slide there either. What we would like to do, and the CRE are ready to go, is we want to run a full program where we do the 3.5 hour workshop followed by Train the Trainer, and we'd like to do 3 of these back to back so we can actually see if the content works, have a little practice and a trial before we roll it out statewide. An e-learning module will be available mid-year based on the content that's provided in the program. It's going to be a flexible and cost-effective option for people that can't attend the workshops and face-to-face, and it's also going to be free for clinicians to access for the first 12 months. After that, the intellectual property is actually owned by the CRE and Penzance, so any modifications they will make, and they may charge a small fee after that, but that's entirely up to them. But for the first year, it's being subsidised so you can access it at no cost. I know you're all a bit mortified and thinking, how on earth can we take anything else on? So much is coming our way in the space of maternity. But don't worry, we are here to help. We want to see you succeed. We want to give you the best chance at implementing all the initiatives that we're coming forward with. Now, Tracy's here somewhere. Tracy, would you like to stand up? Tracy Firth, who's over standing up, has actually been recruited, and she's not started with us yet, so I've put her on the spot. She starts with us on the 7th of May, and she'll be a full-time project coordinator for rolling this out across the state. Now, the benefit of Tracy, she comes from Casey, and she was involved in the project in reducing the fetal growth restriction, improving detection and management there. So she has a huge background and a wealth of knowledge combined with our training package, and we think it's a great combination, and we're delighted to have her on our team. In addition, we're recruiting 6 regional midwives, which can provide support at a local level. So we understand that it can be difficult in depth-wise with staff in regional areas, how you can free them up. So we want to actually provide some support for you to be able to deliver these workshops and also to deliver the other initiatives such as the dashboard. And we want you to remember online training is always an option for those that can't access the face-to-face training. If you have any questions about the training, we hope to start, when Tracy starts. They're ready to go. The CRE are ready to go. So we want to give you advance notice. We know rostering is quite difficult, and your rosters are usually done a good 6 to 8 weeks ahead. So we are mindful of that, but we do want to get these going. If you think you'd like to become one of the trainers or attend the training workshops, please come and see me, because we're always looking for people to be involved. And that's all. And also, I just want to, the Maternity Newborn Clinical Network team is actually sitting over here. If anyone has any questions, you can all stand up, all of you. The Maternity e-handbook, the Neonatal e-handbook, the dashboard, Level 6 referral tools, and a Maternity Services user guide. Please seek them out. We are here to help and support you in anything that you need. You're welcome to come and chat to us. Thank you.